always sunny here in Amsterdam. Revo starting on pole from Catfish and U-Cable. Then it's Volstad, Marcus Nelson, and getting the team's best combined qualifying, Zach Wallace down in 6th. Then it's the Red Devil, Babnos Jr., Ica World, Pierre Gasly, and Pablo Sierra. Then Lawrence Leclerc starts 12th, hasn't been great in qualifying recently. Then it's Sebastian Ocampo, Daf Sanchez, Tinelli Gabo, and Ray Shen. Remy Leboeuf starts 17th from Xavier Kubica and Bogdasarov. Then Cosmas Medicis, teammates Scuttle and Rosak, and Versio down in 22nd. Well then, we've got only a few more rounds to go, roughly 8 after this one. Revo on pole, all 5 lights go on. And the Amsterdam E-Prix is underway. Good start from Catfish off the line. He's already pulling level with Revo as they head down into turn number 1, Tarzan turn. And he's up into the race lead already. Volstad following him through. So it's Catfish from Volstad as they head into turn number 3, going out of Galact. As Revo gets himself back up into 2nd. Scuttle and Rosak getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. He's found his way up into 19th. But out in front, Catfish doing what he has to have his championship aspirations stay alive. He leads from Volstad and fellow Scandinavian driver Marcus Nelson trying to put the McLaren driver down to 3rd, trying to put Catfish down to 2nd. He's trying to go around the outside here, and it's not quite going to work out. He's lost too much time and grip going through, so he's dropped down to 3rd and still alongside Volstad as they enter the Audi S's on board with Nelson, and he's still fighting with Volstad as U-Cable and Revo fighting over 4th position. The Power Motorsports man taking the high line, meanwhile Revo down on the low line. That seems to have helped the Italian a lot more than it's helped the Briton as they head on to lap 2 of 18. It's a clean opening lap and a better one for Catfish than he would have hoped for. Revo up into 4th there, however, to put a little bit of a spanner in the works for the Sims Motorsport driver. As U-Cable darting to the outside, not quite able to look for the move yet. Versio further back, time penalty for causing a collision. No yellow flags being waved. Only 2 drivers starting this race on the hard tyres, those being Sanchez and Medicis. Fastest sector went to one of the drivers, couldn't see who it was because I was too focused looking at this race for the lead. On board we are with Oscar Volstad. He's staying with Catfish. He's got attack mode heading into the Audi S's. After this, Kom Hobokt, as it is in Dutch, hopping over the curbs there, rounding their way to the final 2 turns, the low one, and then the monstrous final turn number 14 on the track. Attack mode wide open for him, and in fact for Revo as well. Fast lap goes to Volstad, sends it down the inside, and takes the lead here in Amsterdam. Oscar Volstad leads from Catfish and Marcus Nelson. And still, the number 2 tries to get past car number 4. But he's been held off for now with 15 laps to go. We're only a 5th of the way through this one. We've already had enough action to satisfy those watching the Japanese Grand Prix. Pablo Sierra setting a fastest first sector of anyone, a 20.683. 33 hundredths faster than the previous best effort. It's Catfish. He's going to get attack mode heading down into the Audi S's. And just a note about Audi, they will be returning to the ERL, replacing the Nissan team. Of course, it's under the guise of App Sportsline, but, you know, another German team on the grid and another German powertrain on the grid can only be a good thing. Revo going alongside his teammate, and he's finally done it, up to 3rd position as Catfish reclaims the race lead ahead of Volstad. In the top 5, 4 out of the 5 of them are World Drivers' Champions, and the only one who isn't is the one who's leading, as Leclerc gets a time penalty, defending from not just his own teammate, but from Pablo Sierra as well. Remember, Leclerc, he's currently up in 3rd in the driver standings. Gabo getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision right behind these guys fighting for position. I think that's with Ocampo, if anyone. Nelson's reclaimed 3rd as we go on board with U-Cable. And he's looking for a way to get past both the cheaters in front of him. There's been a rumor going around that DS, their Formula E team, they are seemingly about to get sponsored by Virgin Media, if anything. And look at that, so close between the 2 of them. Nelson, however, holding on to 3rd. as they go through the final turn of Kumhobocht. As right in front of them, you can see Falstad breezing past Catfish on that 5 of 18. And we do have news to share. Canali Gabo has announced his retirement from the ERL. He might still race an IndyCar next season, but that does leave a seat at a top team free, open for the world to see as they head through the second sector now on board with Catfish. Certainly struggling. Maybe he was catfished for pace. Tough crowd. Heading into Renault turn. Not with any of the Renault-powered teams yet. The highest Renault-powered team in the championship, I believe, is Team Edams themselves. But in this race, it's currently power. We've probably found a lot more power heading over those curbs, however. Not going to get you any of it. Still on board with the two-time World Drivers' Champion, U-Cable rounding out the final turn. Falstad still leading, 3/10 of a second is a gap, but look at those soft tyres. They are beginning to show signs of wear. As Ray Shen further back, time penalty, he's in the wall, and Bogdasarov involved too, heads into the pits. A massive issue, someone's got a puncture, I think. Maybe, I'm not sure. I saw something weird on the tyres, but I don't know if that's just excessive wear. Whatever it was, Scuttling Rotak now has a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. In that instance, I'd say it's a bit harsh, but the rules are the rules. And so Shen's got a dented front wing. Bogdasarov goes onto the hards, which will hopefully see him go to the end of this race. And look at this, the fight for the podium. In fact, possibly even the fight for the win if Falstad and Catfish get too caught up in things, is heating up. Babinis Jr. tried to go around the outside of U-Cable, didn't quite work. The Red Devil on the back of Zach Wallace. As U-Cable and Revo side by side in their first season together, they were teammates as Catfish pits. First man in the top 10 to come in. On lap 7 of 18, Falstad leads from Nelson, U-Cable, and Revo. The top 4 all champions in the ERL Formula E Series as Remy LeBeau also pits. Hards went on for Catfish, looking back with Marcus Nelson. You can see his teammate, Revo, Wallace, Babinis Jr., the entire yard all right behind him. As Scuttle Rotak and Ray Shen also into the pits. Last time out in London, it was so cloudy, but you can see clear skies for the world to see. U-Cable getting himself up into second. Can he take the lead? He's alongside with Falstad, a fellow World Drivers Champion. Whereas Falstad took his first championship at the start of his career, effectively, U-Cable had to wait for the middle, heading through the chicane. Almost a wall for both of these guys. U-Cable drops down to third. Revo possibly trying to get past his first teammate. They are still alongside each other. But the low line has been shown to work more effectively than the high side. In come the top 3. Revo will now lead us away to lap 8 of 18. 10 to go. 32% on the softs. Here comes Babinis Jr. to P3. What a lunge from the Romanian. Ahead of the Red Devil. Side by side they go. Heading down through turn number 3. And now the start of the second and the end of the first sectors. There are classified turns there, but they don't really feel like turns in these ERL cars, I can tell you that much. Because they are just a little flick on the wheel, which in these cars you can take flat. In the Indy cars, it is also flat. So, I'm not too sure if you can really call them turns. Wallace on the back of his countryman being hassled by the homeboy in the Red Devil. Hoping to get a race win in front of his home fans. Side by side, almost contact with Wallace, who takes the lead. Look at that from the 52 in front of the 3-time World Drivers Champion. On board we go with Revo, who's likely to pit at the end of this lap. In fact, they both come in. Who's going to be leading? The Red Devil in the 99 leads in front of his home crowd at half race distance. So if you're pitting now, you can do the one stop. If you pit before and you didn't pit the hard, it's going to be a lot tougher to try and get the one stop done. Catfish is ahead of Revo quite convincingly coming out of the pits, and in fact, Babinis Jr. is in front, and even Pierre Gasly. So the pit cycle for the current championship leader has not panned out to his favour. On board we go with Lawless Leclerc. He's got a 5-second time penalty from earlier on in this race for causing a collision. Very unfortunate for the man who's just left his home race as the happiest man in the entirety of the United Kingdom, but these things do happen and you do have to live with them. Leclerc doing what he can to try and close in, but he's almost into the back of the Red Devil. Vespio further back in 21st, fastest first sector of anyone at 20.550. So you now round out the final 2 turns here in Zandvoort, the track we raced at for Amsterdam, and the top 3 all come in. Babinez Jr. further back. Track limits warning, he's on the hards. What does is Revo on? He's on the mediums. So he's going to be a lot faster than someone like Catfish who leads. Not anymore. Volstad takes it. Oscar Volstad with 8 laps to go leads here in Amsterdam. But with 80% soft tyres, he's going to have to manage the wear, so it's less than 10% per lap. That's going to be a big ask for him. Fastest lap goes to Verspio, a 102.133. We expect to see at least 1 lap under a minute, probably around the final lap as long as there are no yellows. But Catfish has been left in the dust effectively. He's been dropped. And in fact, Cable on the back of the championship hopeful, driving for a team, in Catfish's case, who has never won a championship before, and before very recently had never won a race before. In fact, last season, Kuala Lumpur, that was Sims Motorsports' first official race win, because remember, they did top this timing boards in season 19's pre-season test. With 7 laps to go, however, Catfish's hopes of winning this championship, they have been on the up and up recently, but a race win's going to have to be done with Revo outside of the points currently to really make an indent on it. 69% tyre wear for Cable. They're not making it to the end. The guys who have put it onto softs, they're not making it to the end of this race. If you're on mediums or hards, you can make it to the end. It's going to be so much more comfortable if you are on the hards. But if you're on the softs right now, you have committed yourself to a 2-stop strategy. And in the ERL Formula E Series, attempting the 2-stop will never end well for you. As you can see, attack mode for Awful Catfish. And he's still on the back of Oscar Volstad and still being chased by Cable and Marcus Nelson. Zach Wallace helping McLaren to what could be their best finish in season 22, as here comes Cable alongside Catfish. Can he take the lead into Tarzan corner? And Tarzan takes the lead. That's Cable, who I'm calling Tarzan, of course, but he really did swing up into the lead like he was holding vines or something. Volstad reclaims it heading through turn number 3 into 4 of Hrunsung, and then robs Saltmaker a box, and then turn 6, which apparently doesn't have a name according to my track map. They come down into turn 8, Marlboro box, and then turn 9 of Renault box, which folds back to turn 10, and for Volstad, a fold like that's going to be very helpful. Catfish got dropped down to 4th in that entire shuffling for position. As Cable still on the back of his fellow champion. The top 3 are currently looking to stand on the podium. They have 4 World Drivers' Championships between them. Season 18 for Volstad, rather, the Season 10 and 21 Championships for Cable, and Season 9 for Marcus Nelson. Nelson, certainly a comfortable, safe pair of hands. Probably not the best pair of hands if you're in a predicament such as this one. As Sanchez comes in for his first and probably only stop of the race, having started this one on the hards. Gabo, I'm pretty sure. No, he didn't start this race on the hards. I'm pretty sure 2 drivers started on the hards, or maybe I'm tripping on something. Revo, he's into the points now. He's up to 10th in front of Pablo Sierra, who certainly could be helping out Power Motorsport by keeping the main championship threat in Revo behind, but unfortunately for the 77, just wasn't able to keep him there. You cable hounding Falstad, and his tyres screaming for dear life. With only a handful of laps left to go, there are 4 to go. Look at that, 43% tyre wear. They're not making it to the end. They're making it to the pits. So Marcus Nelson, I would have said, would be leading this race on lap 14, but Catfish, coming through Tarzan corner, sends it down the inside and takes the lead. We might actually see a 2-stopper around here, but maybe the race-winning strategy would be the 1-stop. Catfish holding on to the inside line, coming through 3, and Nelson, 2 tenths off the back, is currently alongside him, heading into the second sector. Marcus Nelson reclaims the race lead in front of Catfish. And for the driver in car number 2, as Cosmas Medicis makes his one and only stop, so he was the guy who hadn't stopped yet. Catfish, driving car number 2, he needs to get himself further up the order if he's to continue trying to close that championship gap to his championship adversary in Revo. That's been the story of most of the season. Catfish versus Revo. Yes, Bob Tisarov got himself in that fight. Leclerc got himself in that fight. But for most of the season, the 2 drivers who have had the class of the field have been Revo and Catfish. And unfortunately for the number 7, his pit game hasn't been too good. Another set of softs going on for Marcus Nelson on lap 15 of 18. So they are going for max power and max pace here. Here comes Revo trying to get past some other drivers, trying to get past Bownis Jr. down the inside through turn number 1, and he takes 5th position away. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that Diaz are hoping for a top 5 finish, if not that points, considering how terrible their stop was. Every second counts in the ERL Formula E series. In fact, every second counts in either ERL series. As he does hold on to 5th for now. He now has to bolt away and close up to Gasly. As for whether or not Revo's going to have to make another stop in this race, I wouldn't count on it. It's possible that Revo's going to do the 1-stop. That's certainly possible, it's plausible. Whether or not it's likely that he's going to do the 1-stop, I'm not too sure, because he could. It'd be close, but he could. He would end the race in the teens, is all I'm saying, so it's not very safe. In comes Zach Wallace, also on the mediums with 2 laps to go. There are some grey clouds over this part of the Netherlands, a country infamous for having its average, I guess, distance from sea level. I forgot what the actual terminology for it. Basically, think Atlantis. In the next 10 years, Amsterdam is going to be the capital of Atlantis. As Revo currently in 4th, you can see it's like London last time out. And it's Gasly going alongside the Red Devil, and the home driver in the 99 getting passed by the Frenchman in the 3. Still alongside each other, heading down into the Audi S's. Kind of expected to start raining soon, considering how dark it is out there. The Red Devil, however, in front of Gasly. And what are his sides looking like? 34%. He's hoping for rain. Most drivers hoping for rain. But currently, it doesn't look like it's going to come. Catfish still leads as we're on to the penultimate lap. Revo staying out. So what are his tyres saying? 36%. It's going to be close, but again, I think he'll make it in the teens. His main worry is going to have to be staying in the top 10. As you can see, Falstad, Bownis Jr. fighting over position with Pablo Sierra and Revo. This is actually the fight for the podium because the Red Devil, he hasn't exactly bolted away from Gasly, and Gasly hasn't exactly bolted away from Revo. So it is still very close between all the drivers on this, the penultimate lap in a thrilling Amsterdam E-Prix. And we're still watching the fight for 4th. Might as well call it the fight for 2nd, however, considering how much closer these guys are getting. Leclerc getting passed by Marcus Nelson there. As the home driver in the Red Devil going for a podium opportunity at his home race. Gasly forced to go wide. What does Revo do? He has to follow the Frenchman. 24% tyre wear for the Red Devil. He's going to finish this in single digits as we head on to the final lap. with the man who's still looking for his first championship. Versio, second track limit warning. He gets 2 more, and it's a slam dunk time penalty. Gasly goes down the inside and takes second away. Volstad looks to follow him through. Further back, Nelson up into 6th. The Red Devil drops down, but still alongside with the McLaren man. Up into 3rd position if he can just hold on, but he can't. He drops down to 4th. Nelson up into 5th position ahead of his championship hoping teammates, as Babinets Jr. looking to try and get past as well. Zach Wallace, fastest first sector in 13th position at 19.833. And I think Revo might be able to hold on here, but can the Red Devil try and get himself onto the podium? I don't know if he can. Volstad looks for 2nd position. Down the inside comes the season 18 championship winner, as here comes a man who's yet to take a championship. Revo gets a time penalty on the final lap. That can have massive implications. So will this. Rounding the final turn, Catfish takes Amsterdam. Volstad in 2nd, Gasly 3rd, and Marcus Nelson just about takes 4th. Volstad fastest lap of 102.066. Wallace takes a 101.783. Again, I predicted we would get underneath the 1 second barrier, and unfortunately, I don't think we have quite managed that one. As Ray Shen's at a 101.183, we need either Cosmas Medicis to go a second faster, and I was going to say Stadl and Rossack, but that doesn't seem likely, as the man who's will finish this race on the hard tyres comes across the line now, quite a ways behind his own teammate, in fact. But this is the podium. Awful Catfish takes victory in Amsterdam in front of a champion in Oscar Volstad, the season 18 champion, and then a driver who debuted the season after in Pierre Gasly. I was going to say Pablo Sierra, but that's wrong. We all know that's wrong. Then Marcus Nelson in 4th from the Red Devil and New Cable. Then it's Arnett Babinets Jr., Wallace Leclerc, Pablo Sierra, and Zach Wallace. Then Ica World, Remy LeBeau, Sebastian Ocampo, and here you find Revo after his last lap 5-second time penalty. Daf Sanchez came across the line in 15th, then Xavier Kubica, Tonali Gabo, Versio, Bogdasarov, Ray Shen, Cosmas Medicis, and Stadl and Rossack, the rest of your finishers. And in the driver's standings, car number 2 reclaims the top step in front of the 7 of Revo, and then Wallace Leclerc and Marcus Nelson. Then Bogdasarov, Ocampo, Daf Sanchez, Ica World, Pierre Gasly, Ray Shen, Remy LeBeau, Xavier Kubica, Versio, Babinets Jr., the Red Devil, UK Ball, Zach Wallace, Volstad, Pablo Sierra, Tonali Gabo, Stadl and Rossack, and Medicis, who, say it with me now, is yet to score a point. You get it at this point. It's been a sad season for the Nissan duo, but in the constructors standings heading into the Rome Prix, DS Cheetah leads from Trackhouse Mercedes and DS Andretti. Then it's Sims Porsche, Team Evans Renault in 5th from the DS Venturi Formula E team and Mercedes EQ. Kiro Porsche is 8th from Power Renault and McLaren Mercedes. Then Nissan Nismo in 11th, far outside of any sort of title battle. But the battle for the Drivers' Championship, currently 4 points in between it, and it will roll on to the next round, race 17 in Rome.